Okay, hey, again, this is Laurel with the Dabbling Hook. How are you guys doing? I know it's been a while. I'm not even gonna apologize because, you know, it is what it is. It's life. How are you guys doing? Are you doing good? I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day out today. I'm looking out the window. It is fall, and the only good thing about fall is that the colors are so glorious, but it just means winter's coming in. I hate winter. I live in the snow belt, and I hate winter. Anyway, it's beautiful out, sun's out, it's breezy. I think it's like around 62 degrees or something. I don't remember, but anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. If I haven't said that, welcome to any new subscribers, and to you oldies, hey, here's looking at you. I've got tea because I'm very nauseous. I may have to stop and go put a mint in because it's the only thing that helps nausea. No, I'm not expecting or anything like that, so no. This is just a quick check-in, and I've had 3 craft fairs, so I figured I figured I would just come and let you guys know how it went. I have not notes, but I printed out my PayPal list of things that I sold just to jog my memory, because it's been what's today, 15th? It's been 15 days since my last craft fair. I had 2 in September, back to back, Saturday and Sunday. Girls getting old. But I love doing the craft fairs, so. And then I had one on the 1st of this month. My next one is until the first weekend in September. In November. I sold out of a lot of things. I still have a lot of inventory, just stuff, you know, you make and it's just there. But my main things that sell, like my 2-button cowls, my triangle cowl, my fringe triangle cowl, the octos, pretty much I don't have. I think I have 3 of my second octo, my octo 2, and maybe like 2 or 3 of my regular octos that didn't sell, but all the more popular color ones, Red Heart, Super Saver, the stripe colors, those go fast. Out of one skein you can get, I think, like 5, if I remember. Was it 3? I don't remember. You can get a lot of them out of one skein, and because of the striping colors, they look cohesive, but they look different. So anyway, I'm going on a tangent, but before I get into a deep dive, I want to say happy birthday to our one and only Z, Zelda NRJ3, Z Formation Creation, Miss Former Postal Worker, our cheerleader on here. So happy birthday, mi amiga. Yeah, it's me trying out my Spanish, mi amiga. Anyway, I hope you have a blast at Rhinebeck West. That's where you guys are, right? At the knitting tree. So treat yourself, have a good time, enjoy your company. Luna, Leo, Pam, I hope you guys have a great time. So this shouldn't be long because what time is it? It's 3:48 right now on Saturday, and I have to be done in a couple hours. Well, this shouldn't take long, but then we have stuff to do in a couple hours. So and if I'm brave enough, I'll put in the pictures, but if not, here. I have not bought a lot of yarn in a while, and because I ran out of stuff from my last 3 craft fairs, I needed to get the yarns for those because I used it all for those. And I kind of went on a little bit of a bender because it's been a while and there was sales, and it feels good, you know, it's yarn. So I bought some stuff, and it's just there because I thought I'd have time, because having a craft fair on the 1st, I had the rest of the month to replenish stuff. And guess what? Like things that never end, it just keeps snow barreling. I got jury duty. So, yep, I got picked, and we were supposed to be a 2-week case, and it ended up being how many days? Including the day that I got impaneled, and then 4 days. It ended up being, they ended up settling. So yeah, so then I'm trying to catch back up at work, and then it's just, I'm tired. I'm just tired. It's just one thing after another happening. So almost 5 minutes of me going on. Let's get into the craft fair. So my first craft fair is one that I had done 3 years before. Not 3 years ago, but I've done 3 years in a row. before, and then of course COVID hit, and then it didn't happen, and they had it last year, but I didn't think they were back. And I actually ran into that person at my December craft fair last year, and she said, "Oh, we didn't see you," and I'm like, I didn't think you guys had it. And she did, so I wasn't gonna do it because I already had one the day before or the day after. But she's friends with the person in December, and that's one of my better craft fairs, so I decided to do it. Long story short, it turned out great. It was a great day. First time I did that craft fair, it was great. Second year, it was okay. Third year, and I decided I don't know if I was going to do it again, so that's probably why I didn't pay attention to when they came back. But this time, I guess people were back shopping and they wanted to be out, so it was good. So, out of the 3 craft fairs, I'm going to be jumping around among the 3 craft fairs. But one of the things that sold, so last year, one of the things I had mentioned was that I was surprised I sold a couple of shawls. I love making shawls. There's just nothing like seeing that end result in that like glorious, creation. But I was never selling them really. I would sell 1 or 2 here and there, but I wasn't selling. But last year, for some reason they sold, and what I did was I had a half mannequin that I put on a table, and I wrapped the shawls bandana style on it, and for some reason that seemed to really draw people in. And I would put one on, somebody would buy it, and then I put another one on, and then it would go again. So I sold maybe 3 or 4. To me, that's a lot last year. So I decided to give it a shot again, and boy, did I sold. I've had shawls for 5 years. 1, maybe even 6, but definitely 5 years. I've had shawls that have gone to craft fairs with me that haven't sold, and they sold. I think I sold, and if I can find the pictures, I know I have pictures of most of them, maybe one of them I don't, but if I can find the pictures, I will put them on as I'm talking about them. But they're like way down 5 years ago, and I have to go through a lot of pictures because I have a lot of pictures. But I was so shocked and so thrilled that they sold. And they sold for the prices that I asked. Some of them I had reduced the prices because they weren't selling, so they still had that old sticker on it, so I didn't bother changing it. But the newer ones that I made the Big Sky Shawl. It's a really easy shawl by Tamara Kelly Mowgli. And I think I had just finished it maybe a week before, and it sold at the craft fair for the price. And it's a discontinued yarn from Michael's. If I remember, I'll put the name of the yarn. But it's an acrylic and I think alpaca. I think it had like 10% alpaca in there. So, and they were big, chunky. They were number 5 yarns, and they were roving style, and they sold. So I was really shocked. So there were, let's see. I have my list here, and I want to see. I have a shawl. Yep. So the first one that sold on the first craft fair I did was on the 17th of September, and it was the Big Sky Shawl. And I literally, I think, had finished it maybe either the week before or days before the craft fair. I had finished it. I want to say days before the craft fair, and that sold. So hopefully I would have put the picture of it there. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that. And I love it. And I have about 3 or 4 more, actually maybe 4 or 5 skeins, big skeins of that yarn. And I'm hoping to get in another shawl to have for my November craft fair. But time. I'm busy at work. Things just keep coming up here and there in life, and another thing just came up again, so it's just so I'm watching videos, but not like I used to. I don't have the time, the mental bandwidth to do. When I do try to comment, let people know I'm around, but there's that. I am still crocheting, but I don't post. I used to post on Instagram daily. That definitely doesn't happen anymore. I try, but it doesn't happen anymore. So just is what it is for now. I'm trying to recenter myself just to get used to my new normal, with things just changing as they're changing, and trying not to stress myself about the yarny stuff, but also not buying yarn because of stress. I did a super jumbo octo, that sold at, I think it sold at my craft fair this month, beginning of the month. Yes, it did. And I was just testing it out. I found it was the yarn at Walmart. By the way, if you're in Massachusetts and you shop at Walmart, I'm trying to get them to fix it, but they tax yarn, and yarn is non-taxable in Massachusetts. You go to Joann's, you go to Michael's, anywhere, it's non-taxable. You go to Walmart, they tax it, and it's the principle of the thing they're pissing me off, but sidebar. Anyway, I have the yarn somewhere in one of the bags. Hang on. Okay, I just made a holy mess trying to pull it out, but I bought, and not this color, but I bought, where's the name? Good God. Oh, tiny name, but I bought the Sparkle Chunky Chanel. That at Walmart. It is sparkly. It's like it's definite. They have it as a number 6. It's not even a number 7. It's huge. It's huge, huge, huge. I would say more, it's like a 7-8. So I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It only has 31.7 yards, 29 meters, 8 ounces, 226.8 grams. And it calls for a 25 millimeter hook or needle. It's definitely not a number 6. I think I used a P hook on this. Either a P or a Q. Pretty sure it was a P hook. But to make an octo, it definitely is an arm workout, let me tell you. So I just made it, and I used Valerie of Also Crochet. She hasn't made a video in forever, but she's the blanket yarn toy making queen. I used the, what do you call it, nylon. Her tip about using nylon in there to hold it, because it was so big, I was afraid that it would be too holey to hold the insides. But I made an octo out of that, a gray one, and some girl bought it. It was her birth, it was her 13th birthday, like a few days after the craft fair, and she bought that, and I put a picture on Instagram of it too. It was awesome. I had like the best customers, I gotta tell you. Like, you never know with craft fairs. It's hit or miss whether people are going to show up, whether they're going to shop. Even if they show up, I've had craft fair where there have been a lot of people, but nobody's spending money. They're touching, they're oohing and eyeing, but they don't buy. You know, it gets a little discouraging, but, you know, you can't, what are you going to do? But last year and this year so far, I've had the most awesomest customers. I've had a few return people who, like, oh, I still have my this, I still have my that. It's been awesome, and the turnout and the end result has been better than I expected. So I have a new threshold as to what I consider a successful craft fair. No, I'm not going to tell what it is, but I figure at this point I've been doing this for almost 8 years. No, almost 10 years. Next year will be 10 years I've been doing craft fairs. And the first few years I started, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going with the flow, you know. And you learn as you go, as you will. And I'm at the point where now I think the quality of my work is way better. The way I present my work is better. The yarns I use is different. One of the things at the craft fairs, for anybody, at least in my area, that people, for most of the craft fairs I've gone to, I'm slowly changing the craft fairs I do. But and no knock at all on the people who use it, but they use Red Heart Super Saver for a lot of their wearable type things, and I think they have a lot of the older stock of Red Heart, and you know what that feels like. We know after they wash it they get softer, but on presentation it's not. And what I found the last few years doing craft fairs, that people would come not thrilled with my prices. I'm like, oh well, thanks for coming by. And then I'd see them, they would come back and just go on and on about how soft it is, and oh my god, it's so soft. And now that I latte things, people, latte things, the touching, it's just, you know, sometimes after a while I'm like, in my mind, either buy it or stop touching it kind of thing. But they touch the lattes a lot. And the people who buy, who are there to buy and to buy something different, they love it and they buy it. But you have a lot of people who are just into the touch. You have a lot of the the older crafters, the older ladies who craft, that they look at your work with such like pinpoint precision as to, like, you know, bending the stitches trying to figure out what you do, and you can see the facial reactions or the and hear some of the comments they make, and I just sit back and I go like, whatever. You know. But anyway, going on tangent. So I did the octo in the big one, and it was kind of like a test to see what the interest was, and a lot of people were interested in it. A lot of people said they were going to come back, and they were disappointed when they came back and it was gone. So I bought, it took 2 of these to make the octo, and I bought 2 whites and 2, it's like a light dusty pink color to make a couple, or I was hoping to make a couple before I got jury dutied, and now I'm trying to catch back up with work for being gone for like 4 days and blah blah blah. So anyway, I bought some bigger ones too. These were from Michael's, the Sweet Snuggle, the Sweet Snuggle, and there were some that were Sweet Snuggle Light, I believe, or something like that. But a bunch of the, I think the true number 7s, yeah, they are calling, this is a number 7 and this is a number 7. So let's see if I can do that. You see that? There's no way these 2 are number 7s, right? Don't mind the nails. I bought nail polish, like 6 different kinds, so I was trying them all out. Yeah, so this is a number 7 for sure, but this, no, this is more like a number 9. It's huge. But anyway, so there's that. Where was I? So shawls sold. The big Sky Shawl, my Erigeneia Shawl sold. Now this was part of a, I thought it was part of a crochet along. I think it was Krista of the Secret Yarnery did it. I don't remember if I did mine because of that, but she had a crochet along and she has videos on it. But I've had that since 2018. That sold. And it was I think a college student too, and she wanted to see it and she wanted to buy it, and I'm like, okay, well, just stop you right now. Are you comfortable with hand washing and not? And she was perfectly fine with being delicate with our creations, and that's what I found with the people who bought the shawls. They really loved it. They love the colors. I'm all about the colors. I can't do straight neutrals. And they were willing to take care of it. So it was such an awesome experience this time around so far. I was planning to do 8 craft fairs this year. It might end up being 10. I'm waiting on 3 more. One was my last one in December, and I'm trying to get them to let me know what date they're doing it so that I can say yay or nay to somebody else who contacted me. And then there's another one who contacted me after seeing me at a craft fair, and I'm not sure if I want to do it because it's going to be another back-to-back. I have a craft fair December 4th, whatever the first Saturday in December is, and then that other one to contact me is this Sunday. So I don't know if I want to do that again, but it would be a good opportunity to get rid of stuff too, which is what I want to do. So anyway, so yeah, I had a virus shawl from 2017. It was from yarn that I bought. I want to say I bought it off somewhere, but it was wool yarn. And again, if I can find a picture, I'll put it on. But I had the yarn for a while. I didn't know what to do with it, and I just decided to take all the yarns and just make a virus shawl out of it. And again, I've had it since 2017. And this woman was walking by and she saw the color. So from my tent, I have the half mannequin that's on the table that has the bandana style, and then I'm able to hang all the shawls around the tent. Oh, and if you have a tent and you do that, get those velvet hangers. It keeps it on there and you don't have to worry about it sliding. It holds it beautifully. So she zeroed in on that one. It was like a rain. It was bright. It was, I think, a aqua-ish blue color, bright pink, gold. I hope I find it. And it was more of a shawl. It was a smaller one because it was small balls of yarn too. My ex-boyfriend shawl, I've done 2 of those. One of them that's mine that I use. Actually, I think it's in my car, or maybe it's hanging. I think I washed it. I don't know. But I have one that I use, and then the other one sold. What other shawl? Oh, in 2018 I also did the Kelsey Shawl. It's by Hooked on Owls. She hasn't done videos in a long time, but she has a channel, and it was her shawl. I did that, and I've had it there for a while. I did it in a mandala. I think it was the genie. No, not the genie. Is it the genie? The one that's like rainbowish color. I did it in that, and I've had it there since 2018, and that actually sold, which was awesome. I had the rabbit hole shawl, which was by Erin of Everyday Erin now. I forget what her old name was. She also has a YouTube channel. But I did that shawl in sheepish yarn, which is long discontinued, but I love that yarn. It was a roving style wool blend yarn. I love the colors. They had a gunmetal color, which is a gray color, and the gold together. I did something ages ago in that, and I loved it. But that's an old one too. That sold. There's another shawl that sold. I just called it the Colorful Shawlette. I don't remember which one that is. I'm wondering if this... I don't remember what the Colorful Shawlette is. I think I may have downloaded a picture on my laptop, so hopefully I'll include those. What else? Did I have any other shawls? For me, there were quite a few. I had a colorful wool shawl. I think it was just like a granny shawl with yarn. I don't remember. I will have to look it up, and hopefully it'll take me a while though to hopefully I have it on Ravelry. That way all the information will be there. But it was yarn that I bought that I hadn't used, so I just decided to make a big granny shawl out of it, and that sold. What else? What else? What else? I'm pretty sure there was another one, but I didn't mark it off. Another asymmetric shawl. That was that the ex-boyfriend? No, that Lina shawl. Remember I mentioned that, where the designer wanted me to buy the license just to mention it anywhere else, even though I credited her wherever I posted it? Yeah, that'll never happen again. Oh, sorry, hot flashing. I just dropped my tea. Hold on. Bam. Well, that's the other reason. One of the other reasons I haven't been on. Just the hot flashes are killing me. Sorry about the squeaky chair. So things go on, things go off, things go on, things go off. See that? That is my little plug-in fan that's always plugged in and almost always on my computer while I'm working, because it's never ending. I was reading up on the hot flashes. What is it called? Vasimoto syndrome or something like that, if I remember correctly. And it could last up to 10 years, and I stopped reading because it just depressed me so bad, because it's so awful. It's so bad. Anyway, so yeah, taking off my sweater, my cardigan, I knocked my tea over. So I was trying to, it's been steeping for a while, so it's very dark tea. And I was trying to make sure I don't end up with a stain on my carpet that looks like a pee stain or something. So, welcome to my life. I just hit it with my vinegar and Dawn solution, so hopefully you can't smell it, but it's very pungent, and hopefully it doesn't leave a stain. It takes care of the stain. Where was I? I forget. Hang on, I dropped all my papers. So, I think I was talking about the shawls, and I sold a lot. My Stars Hollow shawl, well, it was my Stars Hollow cardigan that I undid and just used it as a shawl, because when I did the cardigan, even though it worked, I think I did it, I should have stopped a little earlier, or did the arms a little earlier, so it was a little big and it was falling off when you try it on, so I repurposed it and it sold. So that was good. So basically, I think most of my triangle shawls or asymmetric shawls sold, and what I'm left, I took out some the rectangular wraps, really. So I have one that's older than 5 years, that I did in some old Martha Stewart yarn, merino yarn that's been there. So I had that up at my last craft fair, as well as the Just Feel Cozy Wrap. No, the Just Feel, I think it's Just Feel Festive Shawl. And I just blocked the Just Feel Cozy because the ends were curling a little. So now it's drapier, and yeah. So when I left for my last craft fair, I was supposed to take it with me, but it was still pinned. It was still a little damp, so I left it. So it'll go in my next craft fair. So I think I have maybe one triangle shawl. I don't remember, but they're just wraps that I have. So that's why I'm trying to at least do a couple of shawls. Speaking of, I did get one done. I bought some Carnival Chunky. It's a King Cole yarn, I believe. Or is it Sorta? No, it's King Cole, I think. And I bought it. Oh, wait a minute. It's right here. I have 4 more. I think 4 more I haven't used yet. Stylecraft. It's Stylecraft Carnival Chunky, and the colors are gorgeous. Just gorgeous. It looks like hand painted yarn, but it's a, I don't think on the European yarns they don't put that that weight measure that we do, but it's, I'm pretty sure they would call it a chunky because obviously it says chunky, but it's really what we consider a worsted. So I have, and they're named after places. So this is Paris. Oh, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. This is Rio. Oh, they're beautiful. The colors are what got me. I don't remember. I think it was an ad I saw, and it's got to be way before the pandemic, so it has to be, you know, 5 years or more that I've had this sitting there. And this is New Orleans. Oh, just, I mean, look at that. Ooh, color just makes me, gorgeous colored yarns just make me so happy. It's just, you know, everyone's got their thing, and mine, that's why I have so many single skein yarns because, you know, it's pricey. Oh, there was one more. I knew I had 4 left. This is Sydney. Focus in. No. Yeah. Sydney. Anyway, since it's not cooperating this time, there you go. Oh, look at that. It's like the riot of colors. So I have 4 of these left. I think I'm going to just combine, and I'm going to do a, I'm thinking of doing a big Sky Shawl in that. And she also has another shawl. I did it as well. It's not the big Sky. It's the brown butter shawl she also has. Those are quick ones to make. But this color was, what was this color? I want to say Venice. Oh, that was something else. I don't remember the color. Yeah, it was Venice, and I'll put it on the screen. There are 2 colors in here. I did 4 skeins of Venice, which is the green. I think it's Venice. I'll put it on the screen. 4 skeins of the green, the multi-green, and then I had 1 skein of this blue that ties in because there are blues in with the green. But I made an Yvette shawl. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's just, I'm so pretty. I made an Yvette shawl, and I will, since you can't see it all, well, here. I'll put on the pictures that I posted on Instagram. But it was green hues, all shades of green and yellows and browns, and there was some blue in there too. And then I had this one of blue, so I added that at the end. And let me tell you, other than the ends that I clipped when I sewed it in, or when I used the magic knot to join, those ends I trimmed out. I used every bit of those 4 or 5 skeins, because whatever was left, I added 3 tassels. So it's just, It's just beautiful. And I think, I don't know, just my theory, that since I started putting the putting them this way on the mannequin, it just seems to draw people in. So I have them hanging up top, and then I always have one on that tabletop mannequin. So that will go. And this is the yarn is 100% premium acrylic. It's like roving type spin on it, and you can machine and cool tumble dry, and you can even cool iron, which I never tell people. I always tell them to put it in a garment bag when they wash it, if it can go in the washer and dryer. And it's 100 grams, and they don't go into all the specifics that we do on the balls of yarn we buy here. So it could be dry cleaned, 6mm needles, and it doesn't, usually the European ones don't put hook sizes on here, but I used a 6mm as well for this. So yeah, so that's one shawl, triangle shawl, I get to put in, but I want to have at least 2 per craft fair, because they are my higher priced items. So that's good too. I can't believe they sold. I was so happy. I had such awesome customers. Did I mention that? I had like really awesome customers. Totally. All right, so that was my big long rant about shawls. I'm giddy. Shawls, headbands didn't sell as much. They did on the one earlier this month, but not as usual. And hats didn't sell as they usually do, so I'm okay with that. I did sell a few, my Sierra Madre, which was like, I started it over a year ago and I finished it almost a year to the day. That was a knitted shawl. I had 2 knitted shawls that sold. The Linus and the Sierra Madre, and both of those I finished this year. They were like over a year old and I finished them this year. And they sold, and the Sierra Madre was in Mandala Ombre, and I love that yarn. It drapes lovely even before you block it, and the color transition is lovely, and lovely. Just love it. Alright, hats. I have that I sold a purple shawl. That was a big Sky Shawl from maybe 2 years ago that I had left over from previous craft fair. So yeah, I sold, I think I sold over my 3 craft fairs, the Victrina beanie, which is usually one of my better selling hats, like more popular ones out of all my hats. I think I only sold like 2 or 3. Yeah. Of course the octos went. I panicked after my first craft fair because it was decimated, and I had left a few behind just in case, and I'm glad I did that. So the second fair I had those, and those all went, and then I had like a week to, I had a week, 2 weeks between my next craft fair to have others, but then I was busy at work, so I was a little panicky trying to get stuff, and thankfully it worked out. Let's see, my Amineko cats, those are gone. There was the one I did in wool spun with the little gray jacket, that was gone. What else? Just random. Sold a Dobrilla hat. Was that my last one? I think that was my last one. It was an orange one that I had. I sold that. My Lighthouse Octo that I did for the summer YouTube hop, that went, as well as one of the lighthouses. This cute little boy wanted the lighthouse and he was not letting go of it. Oh, I had the best customers. I did. I sold one of my York hats. That's one of my knit patterns that I have. Did I sell both of them? The little duckies that I had, I sent one to Pam. the duck in a basket. I sold that, and I had a few people ask. Oh, speaking of people asking, one of the questions I got out of all my craft fairs this year, and I got a lot more. I usually get a few people ask, especially when they see me crocheting or knitting while I'm, you know, waiting and hanging around. But this time around, so many people ask me if I give lessons. And I don't know, maybe it's the pandemic, people are now used to it or whatever, but so many people, and I was just so surprised because, like I said, I usually get 1 or 2 questions about people asking if I give lessons, but so many people asked. And honestly, if I didn't have a full-time job, I would so figure out how to do it, but there's just there's just one of me, and there's just no time. But yeah, it was great. And I had a lot more people who are crocheting or knitting or starting the journey who stopped and talked and just, you know, shoot the breeze. It was a good day. My fringe triangle cowl, I have none. I had 3 from last year that or after last craft fair. I may have done another one, another shawl that I just had in inventory, and they all went. After my second craft fair in September, I whipped up a couple, and they were one of the first things to go out of this last craft fair. So I literally have none. I have one that I started that I need to get going on. Oh, by the way, I received from Miss Canadian Crocheter. Have you seen how she and Priscilla and Anna of Anna's Crafty and More, I'm pretty sure I have that name wrong, but they're making bags now. And Miss Canadian Crocheter, and she beat me to it. She put in the recessed zipper, which is on my bucket list to do, but yeah, I haven't done it yet. But look, it's gorgeous. The inside, it's just like a diagonal stripe. It's perfect. So yeah, I started a fringe triangle cowl, and it's being housed in here. And her bag is like patchworky, and it's giving me what is it? I want to say Vera Wang, but Vera Bradley vibes. It does. And speaking of bags, you guys saw Miss Distinctive Crochet is now in the bag making business, and I got myself one as well. Look at that. Oh, I just heard, excuse me, I just heard a notification that my garage door opened, and I don't see anybody there. Oops, hang on. Say hi to the people. Okay, yeah, so I got my bag, handles, and I had a project in there, but I had to take it out because I changed my mind on what I was going to do. But yeah, so do I need I must have. One of these days I will have to show you my, this is a bag of bags. It's stuffed of bags, and that's not even half of what I have. So yeah, I don't need another project bag. I don't have a place to put another project bag. Anyway, speaking of don't have place, because we had to paint, I had to take everything out, most things out, and that gave me an opportunity to kind of inventory most of my yarn, because my cubbies have been inventoried and reset, and then I have a bookcase that I haven't even touched yet of yarn that I need to inventory as well, and then now I have the mess that's surrounding. So yeah, anyway, back to the craft fair. Octos, I made a bunch in chenille, the chenille yarn, the bigger ones. Those sold, and again, I sell as many to kids as I do to the big kids, the adults as well. I love their reactions. It's like, it just makes it all worthwhile when I see them, and even better when they buy it, but just their reactions in general, so that's awesome. What else? I had a little bunny in a hood that I did for Setta's calendar cal. I think just about all my calendar cal amigurumis that I made has sold. So yeah, yep, a lot of 2-button cowls. Like I said, those are gone. A lot of the octos are gone. Starshine. I had 3. I have a jumbo one that I made out of Woolies. I think I still have that one. But I had 2 smaller ones when she first came out. I think the one I did to test a pattern, and then I had made another one for the calendar cal. That went. So 2 of those. Priscilla, your Starshines got sold. I had a frog when Angelia, little house mouse, when she was writing patterns. One was her frog. I think Freddie the Frog, something like that. And I had that since, it's got to be pre-pandemic, and it didn't sell. And this these 2 women, and I saw one of them first. She was looking at it, and the look on her face just like caught your attention. Like she really was into it. And then I think it was her sister-in-law, maybe a sister, came up and said, "Are you sure you don't, and you don't want it? You want me to buy it?" She's like, "No, you can buy it for, I'll buy it for, I think the niece or whoever, it's for some kid," but you can tell she wanted it. So that sold, and that's something that's been there a while. So it was just so nice to see all the older things that I've been holding on to it. And I say, just don't let it go just to let it go. If you really feel like it has to go and you want to clear it out, then you can discount it, or, you know, people want to haggle and whatever. But it's gratifying to know that I held on to it for its intended home, I can say, because the people who bought it were really, really into it, and that's very gratifying. And it just makes you feel good that I made that makes somebody else happy. So, oh, the other thing, sorry, I'm going to be fanning because, you know, the hot flash. I even went to the Dollar Tree, and I had to. I actually went and bought it for court, because I had this little square of paper in my bag that I was using to fan myself while I went court. So, when we went home for the weekend, I went to the Dollar Tree. I remember they had these, and I bought this. And I didn't get to use it in court because they ended up settling by the time we went back. But, yeah, I have 2 of these now. Anyway, the sweating is just unreal. What was I going to talk about? Crochet bags. Little bucket bags, drawstring bags that I made just because I wanted to use up some yarn and just do something different, and they were there. And I don't remember if I brought it with me last year. I think I made them this year, but they sold. And at this last craft fair, they were, I'm gonna pause because I know this is gonna stop on me. I'll be right back. Whew. Okay, as I was saying, there were these gaggle of teenage girls, because that's what I heard. I heard their ahs and their giggling and everything, and they probably were about 14, 15 maybe, and they were goth-like dressed. A couple of them. They were definitely individuals. They had their own sense of style, and I love that about them, because they were just so confident, and so they were a group, and you could tell they were happy in their little group, and they owned themselves, and they loved my bags, and I was just so surprised. I just brought them just to bring them, just because, and I had a couple sold, I think, at my first craft fair. Did I sell? Yep, at my first I sold 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. At my second, I want to say I sold 1, but I don't see it off the top of my head. Oh, the other shawl that I sold is the Skylines Shawl by I Knit You Not. She's a black crochet designer, and I follow on Instagram, and I did her Skyline Shawl in Premier's Color Spun yarn. It's a beautiful shawl, but it's one that you have to pay some attention, because not every line, it's not like a straight repeat that you can do. But I sold that as well. I just saw that on the back end. And I don't think I sold any bags at the second craft fair, but I did sell them at the third as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've got fiber in my mouth. Yep, I sold another 4. So all in all, I sold like 8 bags and buckets and whatnot. So, and hopefully, if I remember, I will put pictures of some of them that I have on the screen. So it was a good fair. It was a good 3 fairs, is what I want to say. Yeah, the mini unicorn I did for the calendar cow, that sold. I did a what's her name? Knit Studio Knits on YouTube. She does stitch tutorials and things like that. She has a bobble hat tutorial and pattern, and I did that, and that sold. My candy corn octo sold. Mr. Perzelot Crystal of Chronically Crocheting, that's her pattern, that sold. I had some mini pumpkins that sold. One of my Anissa beanie. I haven't sold one of those in a while. Actually, I haven't put them out in a while. I have them, again, inventory that's there that didn't sell, that kind of went to the bottom of the pile. That sold. I had the little mercat that I did for the calendar cow, that sold. Yeah, just pumpkins that I've had before. Yeah. It's been a good time. I had these little bunny eggs. It was somebody on Instagram that posted a free pattern, and the pattern was in the Instagram post. You had to swipe to get the pattern, and I must have done that like in 2018, maybe 2019. It was definitely pre-COVID, and they were just in my, I think I made like 4 or 5. I sold 1, and I had 3 left, and I think all 3 sold, or at least 2 sold, because they were the friends of brothers, and they bought them. I made a couple of chubby bunnies. One of them sold. It was good. It was just a bunch of different things sold. I made a dolphin from someone I follow on Instagram. What's her name? I can't remember her name. If I have time when I'm editing, I will put it on there. There's no way I'm going to be able to edit and put things on the screen and put links at the same. That'll take way too long, but we'll see. But yeah, that was the 3 craft fairs. Like I said, I have another one coming the first weekend, the first Saturday of next month, that I need to get going on, because yeah, I don't have time. I never seem to have time. But yeah, the shawls blew me away. Yeah, like I said, my 2-button cows usually sell, and they did not disappoint, because I was all out. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this one feel lighter. Oh, probably the button. Yeah. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to give a little spin to my 2-button cows, because it's a lot of people, some people come and ask, I should say a lot of people, some people come and ask, especially those who know me now at the craft fairs, do I have anything new? And honestly, the last few years, no, I have like 0 brain power for anything new. Or if I make something, I forget to write it down, and then I don't remember what it is that I did. But there's no saying you can't take your existing pattern and spice it up a little. So while I was doing the yarn reorganizing, I came across some of that fun fur that I have quite a bit of. I think I bought from Lion Brand, or maybe it was Premier, because it's Premier stuff. Some of it, I have one that's a Lion Brand fun fur, but I bought, and I don't know what my intention was with it, but what I've decided to do was to give my 2-button cow a little zhuzh. So this is actually gopher fur that I found on clearance at Joann's. So I think I like that better, but I have a whole lot more of fun fur. So basically, let me show you. I just added a trim for a nice little softness around the for a nice little bit of softness around the neck for that. And because I said that I had run out of, I'd sold out of these and I didn't have, Hometown USA is my preferred yarn for making my 2-button cowl. I've tried it in a lot of other yarns. Some I like, but Hometown is definitely my preferred. But I have a lot of other yarns that you can put together. So, you know, multi-stranding regular yarns. And this is the Craft Smart yarn, the softer one. Again, all my stuff has to be, especially next to skin, has to be the softer yarns. No compromise with that. I use Red Heart for my amigurumis, and some of them are softer. And I've used some for the machine, the crank, which I haven't used in a while either, for a couple of hats, you know, that TikTok hat. But for the most part, I use it for toys. But the Craft Smart, which I latte'd. I don't know if you can see. Yep. I latte'd. So 2 strands of the Craft Smart with latte. Oh, my battery is blinking, so I may have to pause again. It's going to cut off on me, I know. So yeah. And then I had a couple of, this is a little bigger button than I normally put on here, but I had some shell buttons that I thought went better with my regular one than my regular color. So there's that. And then this one has the Fun Fur, the Luxe Fur that I edged it with. So yeah, there's that. So I've only gotten 2 of them in so far, but I have quite a bit of Fun Fur left, and it doesn't take a lot to trim, so, and I have a lot of yarn to use up, so there'll be that. But the latte, oh yes. So I have a lot to do with not a lot of time. And what else? That's it. I don't know when I will have another video, honestly. Who knows? Maybe I'll squeeze it in somewhere, but I have a lot of cleaning up to do.